Hi, Jessica.
Who the hell are you?
The woman who's going to save your life.
Welcome to episode 47 of Know Her Is to Fear Her, the Spider-Woman podcast. We're your hosts, Seren and Rey. Thank you for joining us for this early morning edition of the podcast. I apologize in advance for anything that may come out of my mouth. I have been awake for less than 30 minutes.
Oh, listeners, we have Seren in fresh and unfiltered yet. So this is a perfect
I am
opportunity.
Not properly caffeinated, guys. This is going to be great.
So you're in for a good one here. Welcome back, everybody. Seren, it's great to be back. We had a bit of a false start before. You know, we were on the blocks. The gun, shot off, and then it shot off again. We had to cut our recording short.
I don't even think we got past the intro, actually.
No, we didn't. The opening intro was actually playing when I had to abort. Apologies for that. Just some little, but Seren was very understanding. But we're here again. We're here to do it right, Seren. I'm so excited because it's been such a long time, I always just love chatting Spider-Woman, and we've got a fair bit to go through. Because we had it all racked up, all lined up, Seren, before we had to abort the show. But yeah, first of all, apart from the lack of caffeine, how are things going on your end?
That's a great question. They're going good. Wow, I am really struggling right now. I was looking at the cup of coffee. I have a cup of coffee, folks. Like, I have a cup of coffee. It's just still hot. And I haven't had it all yet. I've been good. I know, Ray, you've had a lot going on. I've actually had a lot going on too. We're only 2 weeks out from the new series. Well, 3 weeks, I guess. It comes out on the 29th. We are so close. I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I guess, I don't know. Do we want to load in, just jump right into it, or do you have some things you want to say first? Because October was really busy for me.
Yeah, well, I would love to jump right in. We were talking before, previously, about your trip to NYCC.
Yes.
So that was really cool. So should we get into some of the? I mean, you got to meet a couple of the spider babies.
I did. I met one of the. No, actually, I did meet two of the spider babies. Who else did I meet? Oh shit! I just talked to them like recently on the Twitters. Who was it that? And it was the Spider Gwen podcast host.
Awesome.
Abigail.
Abigail. I met
awesome. Abigail. I didn't realize it was Abigail at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Abigail. But yes, I met Abigail. And there was somebody else actually that recognized me at the panel. And it was someone from Tumblr that follows me on Tumblr, which was pretty cool. And I met Spider Baby Jess, which was awesome.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
we met actually at the Critical Role panel, and then we were at the Critter Meetup. So we hung out for a little bit. Lovely people, amazing,
awesome,
great. It was so good. I love meeting spider babies. So Abigail, I apologize I didn't recognize you at the time we met. But
didn't recognize the voice or anything, or
I know. Literally, I had asked my question at the panel, and they ran up to me and they went, "Hey," and I went, "Hey," and it was like very brief because they also had a question to ask at the panel as well. So it was a very brief, like literally 5-second interaction. And I didn't realize who it was till after the fact. They IM'd me on the Twitters.
So cool.
Yeah,
that's
it was
good.
It was very cool. But I still feel kind of like an ass because I didn't
Oh, I mean, as you say, like you're in the heat of the moment as well. Like you're off asking a question and
Ghost Spider Groupies. That's who it is. Co-host of Ghost Spider Groupies.
Yeah, they're going great. Yeah, great show there. A bit of a shout out there too. Go check them out. I might put their link in the show notes.
Yes.
But yeah, so was it in this? So for those that do have access to video, we've got some photos here from Seren from NYCC. Was this?
I have to point out that after I took some of these photos and posted them on the interwebs, they locked down the panels, and you weren't allowed to access the internet during the panels. It was really
right.
So
wow.
I was sitting next to someone cosplaying as a Spider-Gwen who was also taking photos, so I didn't feel too bad. But yeah, guys, I did a fuck up. I think I felt really bad about it.
That's okay. Look, we've got some visuals here now, which is cool.
Well, they've since been released since the panel.
Yeah.
Started.
But it's still good to see your photos.
They had snipers at the next big thing. They literally had like security walk in during the next big thing panel. Like, you're not taking photos and posting them later. No.
Wow.
Yeah, like the Marvel snipers are real, guys.
Yeah,
they're not lying about them.
They're not friendly.
They don't normally deploy them for the comics, but they deployed them this year.
Nice. It's good. Yeah. Good. We need comics need that recognition. So I mean, look, this might be news that many Spider Babies already know, but there were, I guess, some more artworks revealed of Gang War.
Yep.
So the one that we got on screen now is from the Amazing Spider-Man. Interior art.
I think is out soon or is already out. I don't recall. New York Comic Con was such a blast. It was such a blur. I don't remember half of it. Other than that, I got to meet Spider Babies. And yeah, so.
No, that's great. That's great. And did you see? Was this the one where Charlie Cox was here as Bluey?
Yes, he was. He was absolutely. Okay, I have a story about that before we go on to these other pictures. I'm sorry. I have to story.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm not going to name the artist, but I was at an artist's table in Artist Alley. This artist's wife comes up and she goes, "Charlie Cox is here." But I didn't hear the rest of it because she was whispering it in the artist's ear. And I was so mad because I was in Artist Alley at the same time as Charlie Cox. But I did not see a Bluey walking around Artist Alley. No. But I know he was there. But I didn't see a Bluey. And I didn't hear, because she told the artist where he was at, but I didn't hear it. Because I definitely would have probably hunted him down, and that would have been a really shitty thing to do. So, it's probably good that I didn't hear it. But yeah. So I was in Artist Alley at the same time as Charlie Cox.
That's so cool. Well, it's a bit ballsy of Charlie, I reckon, because we haven't got a screenshot of it there, but you can see it on the internet. Number one, I think someone cosplaying as Bluey kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't know. That's just me.
No, you'd be surprised. It really doesn't. No, it does not. Okay. At Comic-Con, it does not stick out like a sore thumb because people at Comic-Con are cosplaying as anything and everything.
Okay.
There is no right or wrong way to cosplay at Comic-Con. There's just not. There's not. And actually, I think Jess, speaking of cosplayers, Jess was the only way I recognized Jess at the Critical Role panel was because she was wearing a Spider-Woman jacket on Thursday, which was awesome.
Excellent.
I was like, I know who that is.
Jess.
I only saw outside of Jess. I only saw one other Spider-Woman cosplayer on, and that was on Sunday, and I was so sad.
I can't believe that. What?
Yeah, usually there's I see like 6 or 7 Jesses. I didn't see any this year except for Jess and this one woman. I met her right outside the VIP lounge in the gaming corner.
She's got so many costumes. There are so many opportunities. I don't understand. Anyway. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So here's another Amazing Spider-Man 43 cover.
So
got Jess on there.
Yep, Jess is on there. And this is one that I think we've seen in the solicits.
Yes, this is the
Spider-Woman 2.
Yep, with the covers by Linnell Francis Yu.
Of just free
So,
falling. Yeah.
yep. And then I think we got some interior art from that issue. So yeah, there we go. No, that's the covers for 3 and 4, which is just kicking some Hydra ass.
And that's I'm assuming then that's Diamondback, because that Diamondback
yeah, I
looks.
think that's Diamondback or that's Green Mamba, because that's like Jess's new nemesis.
Oh no, I've seen. I've seen the
I haven't seen Green Mamba, guys. I'm so out of the light.
Okay, there is, and it's terrible. I don't have the slide for it, but there is a I think it's on Marvel.com. There is a concept art of Green Mamba, so you can see it's pretty cool costume, and obviously it's green, and kind of very Hydra-esque. But I was about to say that this Diamondback, this one,
I think it's
definitely. Yeah, well, he definitely looks exactly like the character from Brian Michael Bendis' the Defenders, where Diamondback was featured. So that was the other one that I was alluding to, other than the X of Captain America. So yeah, so I like it, that callback to a kind of a lower tier character. That's pretty cool.
I do too. What I do like, I know some people have been in and out about the covers for this series, but one, I feel like it's probably actually pretty good that he's on the cover because he's recognizable. But two, I gotta say, I appreciate whoever's coloring this if it's not lineal.
Right. Yeah.
Jess's Venom blasts are green.
Oh.
And I prefer, I don't know, that's such a sticking point to me. It's been very inconsistent, but whenever Jess's Venom blasts are green, in my head, her Venom blasts are green because of all the radioactive in her body, and I don't know.
I always say it. I always say it's green as well. It just got that really nice weird combo of red, yellow, and green, and it's kind of quite foreign, I guess, because she's red and yellow. So you have other depictions of her Venom blast being yellow, which I think is a little bit bland. So I do like the green as well. But I mean, talking about the colors, Seren, on this slide at least, they just pop. Not only the green, but you got just a combo of the green and the blue, the purple, the red. It's just really cool.
Yeah, and any cover where Justice kicking ass is good. I will say, I do have my criticisms of the cover art because boob socks, but that's not how they work. But no, I do like them. This Refault one's actually pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it.
And the artists are really playing with perspectives, but Jess, we all know the Bengal cover as well, which is awesome.
I am buying that cover so fast.
Oh yeah,
I
already
so fast.
Pre-ordered it or whatever. I already asked my LCS to hold it for me. That's the same one. Then. Yes.
I met Carola Borelli. She's the official Spider-Woman artist. I didn't get to see her much at the show. She was in a lot of Marvel meetings. Every time I walked by, she had an assistant. But I walked by a few times just to kind of check up on my commission and to say hi because oh shit, I don't have a picture of this. I also picked up. She had a sketch of Jess at her table that was for sale too. That she had just drawn, and I picked that up too. I went.
You picked it up, nice.
I said, "Don't mind if I do." But that's not pictured here. But yeah, this is my commission. This is my commission for Jess. It's a 9x12. That she did while at the con. It's still in its shiny little wrapping. I haven't framed it yet. I'm not sure where I'm gonna hang it, guys. I have so much art. I don't have enough wall space for it. I have so much art to hang. I got the Cast of Critical Role autographs too, so I have to hang that. I have to hang this. She gave me a print. She gave because I also picked up Carlos's commission for him, and it's on its way to Spain now as we speak.
Nice.
His commission is beautiful. It's much bigger than mine. And as a thank you, she gave us both a free print.
That is awesome.
Very
That's
nice.
Great.
She's lovely, and her artwork is very great, and I like her very much. She's very nice. If you ever see her at a con, stop by and say hi.
Is she European or?
Yes, she's European.
Okay, I think
she's from Italy. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, but I like her work. I think she's great. I'm sad. Carmen Carnero was there as well. But I didn't get to. I said hello to her and I got her autograph, but I couldn't find. She signed my Captain Marvel star covers, but there was a second printing of the first issue of Captain Marvel with all the ladies on the front looking badass and just has this big ass gun the size of her torso.
Oh, wow, you got that? Yeah.
I couldn't find that cover. I was so sad because that's the one I really wanted her to sign. I mean, she signed my 2-star covers, which is great, but
pretty cool. Yeah.
I really, really, really wanted her to sign that one, and I'm sad she didn't. That's all right. She's also lovely. Who else did I make? Let's go to the next slide because that's my other commission. That was I brought a couple of sketch covers with me because I didn't know who would be taking commissions at the con, and it turns out that Marvel Stormbreaker colorist Jesus Arbutov was taking commissions, and on Friday I said, "Hey," and he said I could have it done by Sunday, and I said, "Yeah," and he drew this lovely dress for me.
Nice cover. So on the Virgin cover, of course, like the blank cover or whatever you call it.
Yeah, it's it's called a sketch cover. So their cover is specifically meant to be drawn on by artists.
Yes.
So I brought 2 with me, and so he very kindly took my commission and did one, and it was very cool because at one point on Saturday I was walking by to go to somebody else's table, and he was working on it. And I was so excited. I was like,
It's so cool.
He's a lovely person.
A little question again for like a newbie, Seren. So you you get the commission. So how long do you have to wait? Like, do you wander around then come back? Like how?
Yeah. So for this one, because it was so last minute, I literally saw him on Friday. And I like Friday at the end of the day, even, which is really kind of last minute for me to ask her a commission. Because if you're going to ask for a commission, you want to do it as early as possible during the con, so you can get right on it.
Yeah.
So he said to me, he said I could have this done by Sunday at like 2:00, and I said that's cool because Carola, that's when I was picking up my commission and Carlos's commission from Carola Borelli.
Yeah.
And because she was not quite done mine yet. I also, I asked for the commission like a week before Comic-Con because she's like, yeah, they're still open. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, can you take one still? And I was like, perfectly fine to get shot down. And she said no. I'm like, well, that's my fault because I didn't ask till a week before NYCC, right? But she took my commission and she had it done, and I love it. So it was really good.
And this one here, the cover, the artist did everything, like the inks, the pencils,
he did everything.
And the
Yeah, he's one of the Stormbreakers for Marvel, but he's a colorist, so they have him color. But I'm sitting there going, they need to start having him do some covers or something because I think he's pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
So yeah, and he drew just for me, and I was very happy with it. I am very happy with it. It was cool. Very good. Who else? What other artists did I see while I was there? Because I have a friend in Canada, and she has a coloring book that she uses for like an autograph book. And if artists would like to sign it, some of the artists that have signed it have actual work in the book, but others don't. But the back pages of all this coloring, but it's not even a Marvel coloring book; it's an old coloring book. I mean, her coloring book is very well loved, and some artists will just sign the blank page, and then like, because if you flip a picture over, it's like a blank page, and then like it's the next picture that you could color. And so she's got some signatures on blank pages, but some artists will actually color in the coloring book, and like they don't color like a whole page, but they'll color like a glove or something. And she's got some pretty good signatures in there. So I was going around Artist Alley for her doing that. So artists are lovely, and when you present them with a coloring book, they go, "That's kind of cool."
Okay. Oh, really?
And who was it? Like, who did I get? Like, I got someone first thing in the morning. Who was it? Oh shit! Who was it? He was the Black Panther artist. What is his name? I can't remember his name right now.
Stillfreeze?
Yes.
No. Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I went up to him and I said, "Hey, I've got this. Would you be happy to sign it?" And he goes, he brings out his paints. He had like a picture of Black Cat for a commission he was going to paint that day. He goes, "So I got to warm up my brushes." So he says, "So yeah," and he painted Shulky. In the book.
Shulky.
Yeah,
nice.
he painted her. And who else? Who else have I gotten that's colored in the book? Rochelle Rosenberg, who's a colorist for Marvel. She did Black Widow.
Oh, she's amazing.
Carola went. She really is, and she's wild because she works so fast. She colored that it was not a small Black Widow. She like colored a whole page-sized Black Widow. Like this was a NYCC 2019 actually, and she colored it in like 2 seconds. I was like, damn, she works fast.
Wow.
You got it though, right? Hustle. And Carola obviously colored Jess on one of the pages. Teenie Howard's in there twice. Teenie Howard did a Jess, and then Teenie Howard this in 2019, and then in 2020 or this year she did somebody else. I can't remember. But writers and artists, there's no pickiness. Gail Simone signed the page. Herman, who did Strike Force, was there. Okay. Lovely person. If you ever get to meet him, you guys should all hit him up. He is wonderful. If I had the cash, I probably would have bought some of the artwork he was selling from Strike Force, because I did not have the cash, because I used my cash up for other things. But that's okay. Yeah. Next time. I hope he comes next time so that I can buy it specifically. What else? Who else is awesome? Mark Brooks is amazing. He showed me that Crystal, the Party Crashers for line he's doing for the X-Men, like he did. And he posted it like a couple days later on Twitter, but he showed me on his phone because I had mentioned it to him. I said, I saw your sketch of are you starting to do, because if you remember, he was doing that X-Men's Party Crasher thing, and he had put Jessica Drew and Crystal, who are my 2 favorite Marvel characters, against each other. And I had to flip a coin of who to vote for because I loved them both. I think I voted for Jess, but Crystal still won. Which I didn't. I won either way. Really, truly, I won either way. Crystal is very much a not loved enough character, in my opinion, much like Jess. I think I squealed like a little girl when he showed me. It was so beautiful. And then he posted it on Twitter, and I squealed again because it was so beautiful. So hit up Mark's page for the beautiful artwork of Crystal on McClellan of the Inhumans, and Lockjaw wearing a bow tie, and
very
Black
cool.
Bolt and Medusa. It's very good, and I love it very, very much. And if that ever becomes a Marvel cover somehow, I am buying 30 copies and framing it, because I do like Mike Brock's art, and I like him because he's just a cool dude.
Nice.
David Mack was there. I just saw a lot. There were so many good artists there, guys. Artist Alley is dangerous. And here's the thing about New York Comic Con, and I assume San Diego is probably the same way. You could spend 4 days easily in New York Comic Con in Artist Alley and not see the rest of the con.
Wow.
Like, it is so easy to do it. Like, literally, you could just spend 1 day in each of the row, like in each row, just going to artists and artwork and paper where people are working on. I love Artist Alley so much. It's probably my favorite thing about Comic Con. Artist Alley is fabulous.
It's a great opportunity to see and meet creators like face to face and interact with them and stuff. Do they still?
Awesome.
Oh, I'd imagine so. I've not heard I've heard one. So let's say I've only heard one kind of bad story about one artist. Yeah, most of them are pretty good. So
most of them are pretty good, and like they're like all working on stuff, and like literally I could watch like Brian Salfries. I could watch him paint all day. Like literally,
his art's great.
Like any like artist, I love watching artists work. I have artist friends that would live stream when they were drawing, and it literally is just they pop on the music and go, and I could watch it all day. I love it. I love watching artists work. I am not an artist myself, but good Lord, do I appreciate everything all you do. They all do. So it's just whether it's actually like line work or coloring, I could watch them all day. Like, so the next time you're in Artist Alley, just, tell them you love them. And,
exactly.
If they're really particular, if they're selling like merch or whatever, toss a few bucks their way. Not everyone some artists, some of them will like you have to pay for like $5 for a signature, or the first signature is free. And I understand that because, and if you come with a grader, they automatically charge you like $20 because,
right.
Because honestly, if you're coming with a comic book grader, chances are you're going to be reselling it anyway, So I can't blame them. I don't blame them at all for charging $5 for a signature or $20 for a signature. I mean, most of them are like first signature free, and then everyone after that is like $5. You know what?
It makes sense.
Fair,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that person signing it, you don't know what they're doing. They could be trying. They could be like going around, and you sign that, and then they could be selling it for $400. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I think I do not fault creators for charging for their signatures. Not at all.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, no. It's only when like prices like skyrocket. I guess I've seen people say, well, with photos with celebrities and all that,
Yeah.
you can do it the con, and they charge like $400 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, so, well, that's a little bit too high. Like you'd really have to love it. If I don't know. I mean, I've never done it.
Photo ops at New York Comic Con they're very fast. So for like, I did get the entire. I had a photo op with the cast of Critical Role and then the 3 ladies of Critical Role, and they go very quickly. Like literally, you are in and out in less than like 30 seconds because they have so many people. The autographs are a little bit better because then you have a chance to like talk to them a little bit, and at least again the cast of Critical Role are just amazing people, and they don't rush you out. I mean, you can't spend 5 minutes with them either, but they will talk to you and answer your questions and things like that. They're just lovely people. I don't know. I heard Chris Evans wasn't really up to chit-chatting for his autographs. I know Charlie Cox, if you go to get like autographs with Charlie Cox, he is just wonderful. A wonderful gem of a human being, and will take his time and talk to you. I'm not sure how all the rest of them go, but Critical Role was wonderful, guys. I guess I know we're talking here about Just, but I gotta tell you, the cast of Critical Role is just wonderful people. They're just great. I love them all. My nieces were mad that I got to meet Matt Mercer because they were like, wait a minute. He was at New York Comic Con. We could have gone to New York Comic Con, and they were so mad that I didn't tell them because I didn't know my nieces loved Matt Mercer. I'm like, what? The streams are crossing. I don't understand. I mean, my nieces love nerdy things, which is great, but I didn't even know they knew who he was.
Right.
I was like, well, shit.
Yeah, well, you don't underestimate your nieces and nephews.
I totally underestimated my nieces because if I had known that, I would have gotten them tickets and been the cool aunt. I would have been the cool aunt. Oh well. Oh wow.
It sounds really cool. It sounds like you had a great time.
It was so
Seren. Look, and we can't leave the conversation about NYCC without me asking about your backpack. If it held up.
It held up real good. Yeah,
it
held up real good. And I had my little stool because let me tell you, waiting in lines for those photo ops for Critical Role and those autographs, I definitely needed that stool. No, my backpack was fabulous. It was fabulous. It was raining that week, and it kept my stuff dry. So it was excellent. It was probably a little big. Apparently, people really hate it when you bring big backpacks. But I'm sitting here going, well, at least I wasn't one of those people dragging a wagon around full of comics. So don't get mad at me. But I did have a slightly big backpack, but I also had a bunch of art. Because here's the thing, I want a backpack big enough to fit a 11 by 17 art print in it. Because I do not want to put that art print in a poster tube and curl it. I had a poster tube that had my Bell's Health print from Critical Role. But that's a pain in the ass because when I was having the cast sign it, I had to hold it down because it kept curling. But but that was too big to fit in my backpack. But most of everything else I have is 11 by 17. And I want to put my comics in it too because I don't want to take a chance of someone like stealing my shit. Or something. I don't know. I want that stuff as close to me and my person as possible. I don't want it loose in a little bag because you could get a whole bunch of because one of the things about Comic-Con is if you get on the main floor early enough, there are vendors that are passing out huge ass bags for merch for you for free.
Oh, okay.
And I have one from last year that I definitely utilized. I did not get my selfie taken. I should have gotten the Spider-Man one from the Marvel booth, but alas. Because that one had really good buttons on it. But besides the point, you can get these really big bags that will fit just about any merch you want in it. But they're also, like I said, open tops, and people could reach in and take whatever out if you're not careful. And I was like, nope, I want as close to my person as possible. So I carry a big ass backpack for that reason, and also I can fit a lunchbox in it,
Of
so I can
course.
pack my lunch and not spend $30 for chicken fingers at the con. On Sunday I did buy food at the con, and I spent $8 for a fucking hot dog.
Oh,
So yeah, so
I mean that's $8 as well. My gosh, so that's that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is why I pack my own lunch, because I paid $5 for a turkey sandwich at the deli on the corner on my way to the job at center every morning, and that was because I don't eat a whole sandwich in one sitting. So that was my
Mhm.
lunch and my dinner. So like it worked out. So yeah, they're not picky about you bringing food in. So I had my big old water bottle,
Mhm.
and my lunch. So you know,
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean that sounds good. As long, yeah, I'm always dubious about big events and the food
Mm-hmm.
on offer. Most likely
Mm-hmm.
all overpriced or the quality isn't that good. But um,
My understanding is if you go to the food trucks, because they bring in a whole bunch of food trucks,
mhm.
to Comic Con, because
Oh, the food
it's
trucks
not
are
just,
yeah.
yeah. So they bring in. So not only do you have like all the places inside the actual Javits Center, but they have like a whole like street. It's called like the lower street level, and
Right.
they've got like 15 food trucks lined up.
Mhm.
And my understanding is the food trucks are pretty damn good.
Okay. Well, yeah, food trucks are yeah, they are pretty. They generally are pretty good. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Oh, well, cool. Well, sounds
Yeah.
like a lot of fun, Saren.
It was a blast, as it is every year. This year, my body definitely tried to get a little hinky the day after Comic Con,
Mhm.
but I did not get sick. I did not
Oh,
get
good.
COVID. I did not get the flu. It tried to do something, but then by Tuesday I was fine. And
Good.
I tested for COVID. I didn't get it because I wore a mask. Hey guys, when you're going to Comic Cons, wear a mask and make sure you're vaccinated, because you won't get con crud, or if you do get con crud, it'll be a very mild case. So, yeah, wear a mask, get vaccinated, because once again, this is my second year in a row of going to Comic Con since 2016 where I have not gotten con crud because I wore a
Good.
mask.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
great.
saying. I don't mean to be preachy, but like, hey, there's got to be something to that.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, most definitely. So,
So,
you cool. Wear a
mm-hmm.
mask, everybody.
Especially if you're going to be around 200,000 people.
Yeah. Well, true. Well, yeah, was it I mean, do they announce the attendance? Like, do they announce,
Usually afterwards. Last year it was over 200,000 people.
wow.
And this year, I would not be surprised if it was the same. And here's the thing: I was talking to Lauren Walsh, who was a artist for Critical Role,
Mhm.
and a lovely person. If you see her at a con, give her your money. She's fabulous. She has her own little character she invented called Wooble, who's a little gelatinous cube, and we all love Wooble. And from my understanding, Thursday in Artist Alley at New York Comic Con
Mhm.
will have you make as much money as a Saturday at some other cons. Not necessarily like San Diego,
Mhm.
but like other cons. Like, it's, even though Thursday's the least busy day of NYCC, it's still fucking busy.
Right.
Excuse me. I just burped. I apologize, guys. So yeah. So she apparently had a ball in. Of course, Thursday though was also the day that Critical Role was there. So of course there were a lot of critters, so that could have been it. But
Mhm.
yeah. New York Comic Con's busy. It's real busy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I mean, it's one of the biggest ones, isn't it? Like with
Yeah, it is the
San
biggest one
Diego.
in the. It's bigger than San Diego now. New York Comic Con is
Oh,
bigger than
okay.
San Diego.
Ah.
San Diego. I would love to go to San Diego one day. One day, I would love to go to San
Mhm.
Diego, but apparently
Oh,
it's
me
really
too.
a bitch. It's a bitch to get tickets for. Not quite,
Ah.
because of how, I mean, as much as I hate a big corporation running a lot of the big cons in like MCM, and because the people who run New York Comic Con also run MCM in London and Emerald City Comic Con and no, they don't run Rose City Comic Con. They do Emerald City Comic Con and they do C2E2, and I think they now have Fan Expo. And it kind of sucks, but it also makes it a lot easier to get tickets. And I know some people complain about how you get their tickets because they make you wait in a queue, and if it's gone, it's gone. But you know what? It's not a free-for-all, at least. Because I'd rather wait in line 30 minutes than it being gone. Because there have been times in the past where I've been in line for 30 minutes, and hey, the 4-day pass is gone, but I could still get Friday and Saturday tickets. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather do that, because if it was a free-for-all, then everything would be gone in 5 minutes, and then we'd be out of luck, right? So they try and make it as hard as possible for ticket scalpers and bots to buy tickets. So, and I kind of appreciate that. So that's all I'm saying. People complain about it, but I'm like, it's better than what Ticketmaster does. You heard about that whole debacle with Taylor Swift. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so however New York Comic Con does it, it might not be perfect, but it's better than Ticketmaster. So.
Yeah. Well.
That's all I got there.
Well, that's really cool. And anyway, I'd love to hear, Spider Babies, if you had been to New York Comic Con, share us your stories as well. Chuck them on Discord or on our social media platforms.
I would love to hear about Jess's other experiences, because we did not hang out the whole time. But
how long did you hang out for?
So we I got her because, in my horn here, I've managed to get a VIP pass, so I was able to hold her like a second row seat, because I got a second row seat for the Critical Role panel on Thursday. So we were at the panel together, but we didn't get to talk because we were paying attention to the panel, obviously. And then we hung out at the Critter meetup. There's a Critical Role cosplay meetup, and we hung out there for a little bit too. So it was a good time. It was a very good time. But I think she also went to MCM London. So Jess, we might have to have you on the show so you could tell us your MCM London experience, because I would like to hear about it. I saw your picture of all the artwork you purchased, but I would really very much love to hear your MCM, because apparently MCM was fire. The biggest draw for MCM this year was Critical Role, so they were like, they got the VIP treatment at MCM that they should have gotten, in my opinion, at NYCC as well, but did not. But I have my complaints about that, but I'm not going to complain about them here. New York Comic Con was a blast, except for a couple minor things. And I forgot to put that in my survey from New York Comic Con, my complaint about that. But that's okay. I might send them an email anyway. Anyway, let's get into this comic, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, do we have any other Spider-Woman news, guys? I can't remember.
I can't think of any. Not that I've come across.
I'm really excited for the upcoming comic book. Don't get me wrong. I wish I had taken more pictures, but I had stopped halfway through that Gang War panel because I was feeling guilty about it.
And we will have Steve Fox on the show. We'll just have to tap on his shoulder. He's pretty keen to come on. He's a big fan of Spider-Woman, so
that's what I wanted to talk about, because again, my question at the Gang War panel was, hey, because again, I think I asked this question about the Spider-Woman panel in 2020 before Carla's series launched, is on a scale of like 1 to 10, how heartbreaking is this series going to be? And it's apparently the editor almost did not take the series because the pitch was like, she's like, I don't know if I can edit this. She's like, I don't know if I can edit this. This is pretty heavy. Wow. And then she got the script and she was like, all right, I think I can do this. I can edit it. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's very good. Because if there's one thing, obviously, Jess is very good at, is making us go through all of our emotions in one big swoop. So, when the editor is going, I'm not sure I can take it on the initial pitch. That I'm like, oof. Be ready, guys. I think we're gonna get sucker punched in our feelings.
It's gonna be a pretty good one. It has to be. So
So, again, I implore you all, buy the fuck out of this book so we can make it an ongoing, because it sounds like Steve's got a lot to tell, and Jess is popular enough. She is popular enough. She's like, she hovers right at that cusp of going exploding huge like Captain Marvel, but she's just not quite there. She's got us. She's got a lot of fans, and we're vocal, and we love it, but we gotta support the book. So when it comes out, and I know I've fallen behind on it, and I've got to get on the social media more. And I apologize in advance, but we gotta support the shit out of this book, because I have a feeling it's gonna be real good. And the people, and again, just from what we've heard with the Hydra and everything, it seems like to me Steve is really building on what Bendis kind of did with her. So
yeah, I've got faith that it will be a pretty solid read. You know, you can never be too sure, but I think it's going to be well thought, and it'll have some twists and turns that we'll all love to see. So,
yes,
yeah,
I'm excited. 29th of November.
Okay, it's not that long to go.
I actually thought it was going to be next week, because my brain went 9th of November for some reason. The 9th of November, first of all, is a Thursday.
Right.
We don't get comics on Thursday. And so yeah. And then I was looking for the preview for it, and then I saw it was the 29th, and I was like, oh, I still have to wait 3 weeks. I was very sad.
We might be able to squeeze in another episode before then, Seren. So we'll have to see. Because I mean, there's always stuff to cover. Pretty much like this classic issue we have. Now, Seren and I, admittedly, we have read this. It has been longer since we've read it because of our first failed attempt at recording. But this was really good. We're doing issue 6. Sorry, if everyone.
Issue 6 of Spider-Woman Volume 1, and this one is the Spider-Woman is helpless. For the mindless rampage of Werewolf by night. Now, this is not the first appearance of Jack, right?
Oh no. Jack was back in this is the 70s as well, but a bit earlier. I believe it was 75. So this is 78. Is that right? About 78.
This was about 78. Yeah, this was 78.
Let me have a quick little.
I finally have picked up. Not only did I pick up Marvel Spotlight 32, which I have been missing from my collection. I do have Spider-Woman #1, but I was able recently to pick up Marvel Spotlight 32 and Miss Marvel #1 for my collection. I am so happy about it.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say about that. And they were in fairly decent condition. So that made me really, and at what I consider pretty fair prices. So I'm excited about that. That was not at New York Comic Con. That was somewhere else. But that was just in passing. Someone had them, and I went, I will take those from you. And they said, how much? And I gave a price, and it was less than 100 for both. So I think I won there.
Oh, nice. Very nice. My gosh. Spotlight, sorry, 32. Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome.
With Spider-Woman's first appearance, baby. I was like, holy shit. And it was
nice. Immense. Yeah.
It was, because that one's not usually very cheap.
No, it isn't.
Unless it's really beat up. And it was not really beat up, but it wasn't mint, but it wasn't also beat up. So it was pretty good. I am no comic book grader, but I was very excited.
Yeah.
To have it.
Oh, it would be. Oh my God.
But anyway, going back to this, because it reminded me of one of my recent finds within the last 2 weeks. It was like,
that's news, Seren. That's great.
Yeah, I was very excited. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Look, we don't have like a prompt sheet of
No, we're not very prepared today.
No, I do have pulled up the fandom website. So 6th of June.
Oh, you're more prepared than me.
June 6, 1978. So we were right with the cover date of September 78. It's called End of a Nightmare. Marv Wolfman, Carmine Infantino, Rick Bryant is inker, Bob Sharon, colorist, letterer, John Costanza, and editor Mark Wolfman as well. There's quite a lengthy synopsis, Seren, so I think I can just maybe put a link in the show notes for that.
Yeah.
We can do a nutshell thing. Basically, we get told this story through the narrative of Werewolf by Night, right? Jack Russell.
Correct.
And it's a crazy one because it involves Magnus and Morgan Le Fay, who we saw previous issue, and basically Jess in battle with Morgan Le Fay over Magnus, but it's because Werewolf by Night has ties with the Darkhold that Morgan Le Fay is kind of after him. And this is interesting, Seren, because I know Jed MacKay at least has brought up the connection between Werewolf by Night and the Darkhold in more recent comics, in the Moon Knight comics. So yeah, so it's really good that I guess Jed at least is keeping that. Yeah.
I'm also going to say that back during Dennis Hopeless's run, there was an issue. It's a great issue. I think it was issue like 9 or 10, right during Civil War II, but it was still a great issue of Jess. Carol kind of fucked with Jess a little bit. It was really funny. And she sent Jess investigating like certain things. And one of them, Jess went to investigate. She actually went down to the Monster Metropolis and reached out to Jack. So there was a really great scene with Jess and Jack
nice.
In a recent, well, semi-recent, within the last like 8 years of Jess and Jack. So Dennis Hopeless has touched on the connection between Jess and friendship between Jess and Jack as well. So,
fantastic.
You know, if you talk to Jed MacKay again and he keeps bringing up Werewolf by Night, maybe you could poke him about that too.
Yes.
I think he was there. I didn't stop by his table though, unfortunately.
But you've met him anyway as well.
Yeah, I do remember. Selfie, which was
yeah.
I have things to send you, by the way.
Oh.
From New York Comic Con.
Oh,
you have loot from New York Comic Con coming.
That's awesome. Well, we'll have to talk about,
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's cool. Again, just the visuals we've got here. Jerry Hunt is in the mix as well. It brings back that infatuation.
I really don't
that he has.
I know exactly why he has that infatuation, but I still hate him. I don't like Jerry Hunt.
It's a bit weird. Yeah.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
I know why he is the way he is, and given because I have read part of this series and I know part of Justice Powers, even though she does not. I know why he is the way he is. But I still hate him. I don't like him. I don't like Jerry Hunt. I am not a fan.
I think he pretty much suffers from it being a very dated portrayal. I guess I think because I'm only assuming back in the day it wasn't that prominent, but nowadays you look at his actions and what he says, and it's kind of oh, that's a bit.
Yeah, it's all very red flag. Very red flag, guys. Very red flag.
But essentially, this issue it has also the first altercation between Jessica and Werewolf by Night. He ends up strangling her. He's not overly powered. I think he's 2 tons. In the Marvel Handbook, like the werewolf. So compared to other superheroes, the werewolf's not that strong, but he's quite brutal in what he does, and he manages to kind of knock Jess out, by kind of stopping airflow, I guess. But yeah, so they end up. I mean, I don't think Jess has anything against Werewolf by Night. She's trying to contain him.
Yeah, she's not trying to hurt him. She's just what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, but it's all interwoven with Morgan Le Fay and Magnus, and there's this whole kind of what is it? It's like a fake that Magnus does by making Morgan Le Fay believe that he's dead. They have this huge battle. It's kind of a battle between teacher and student.
I have to say, I kind of like the art there. I'll go back on that one page because that was cool. How it gets he's
good.
becoming invisible and wavy. I really like the Although I will say there's some inconsistencies with how Jess's like forehead triangle is colored, but yeah, I really like that
okay.
page. I really
Yeah,
like
a lot of the art I think is really good. I think the werewolf depictions are really cool. Like, just there's a page
yeah.
here where Jess is zapping him, and
Yeah.
just the texture on Werewolf by Night. Um, yeah, so essentially towards the end, I'm sorry, I'm just rolling through this here. Morgan Le Fay kind of incinerates Magnus, or so we are to believe, and she kills. Does she kill Jerry as well? Apparently,
She thinks, she
yeah,
doesn't
Jerry gets,
kill
yeah.
Jerry, but it's
Well, I mean, it looks, for all intents, he's kind of turned to dust as well. But it's a weird. I don't know. The mechanic was a bit weird for me, Saren. So there's this like little bubble. So Morgan Le Fay is actually like an apparition, or a
right.
what is she like?
It's
Astral.
like her soul was like separated from her body, or she's like astral projecting or something.
Yeah, and then so Jess manages to injure Morgan Le Fay, her real body, because there's like a time loop bubble or something where her real form is showing. I found it all quite, fantastic and fun. And actually, look, it's another angle of Spider Woman again. Like, I love Morgan Le Fay. I hope she comes back for more stuff, because this magical, mystical stuff is just really, it can get really crazy. And the fact that, so what happens, like, she gets sucked back in. I really love the art there with Morgan Le Fay getting pulled in. Like, her face looks really weird as she gets pulled back into the vortex.
I love it. I actually really like that. You can see like Jess's hair is like getting pulled that way too. It's really neat.
It's really cool. And like, just his hair in general, like, it's so wild. It's like almost Medusa level.
I actually really like this page. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And, like, you can see like around Jess's eyes, like even her like in that top panel, like she's all like blurry a little bit, like she's starting to like warp out herself. It's so cool. It's really great.
It's very cool. So everything seems to be sucked into this portal or vortex that Morgan Le Fay came from. Bing bada boom. Jess is in the middle of some lush rolling hills, and it's Magnus and Jerry. They're back, and Magnus just kind of tells a story about how he fooled Morgan Le Fay all along. Now, Sarah, in the ending, I thought it was a little bit awkward. Yeah,
I hate it.
Yeah,
sorry, I hate it.
So ends with Jess kissing Jerry Hunt, and Magnus being a little bit creepy, kind of going, "Oh, young kids doing well," and then he's talking about something, bringing Werewolf by Night back. Then he looks back at them; they're still kissing. Yeah, it's a little bit of an awkward moment.
I don't
know. Meant to be romantic,
like
I guess.
Yeah, it's not. None of it is. I hate it. I hate it all. Sorry. I just don't like Jerry Hunt at all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was surprised that he featured
Jess
in it.
Has never. Like... I don't blame Jess here, because she's finally getting a little bit of love that she's never had. But he doesn't really. I have feelings.
And this thing also as well, Sarah, that Magnus is manipulating Jerry too. Like he.
Oh, 100%.
He's quite powerful.
Magnus is manipulative as fuck. I hate Magnus too. He's just a manipulative old man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know how he got into the predicament in the first place. I've kind of forgotten how he's kind of all tied up.
Too. I have to remember. Rustin Green will absolutely.
I think he maybe. He may have laid the trap, like pretending that he was caught and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like, so from my understanding of this entire arc, we've got the Hangman lured Jess to where she was, and Morgan it's clear to me that Morgan orchestrated this whole thing. So she went to Jess. She used Jess as bait for Magnus. And then this all happened, but Jess saved the day. But I think Morgan, because Magnus knows the Darkhold, and he knows Jack knows the Darkhold, so I think Morgan orchestrated this elaborate plot to use Jess to get to Magnus, and woefully underestimated Jess, which is kind of par for the course. Jess is continually underestimated by many a foe. So yeah. That's my understanding of this entire plot.
Yeah, it's look, if we're to be really critical and stuff, and maybe looking at it through a modern day lens, it is a little bit muddled.
Yeah.
Marv Wolfman, he's a fun writer as well, and when he's on song, he's pretty good. There's so many things in the mix here. Like you've got the horror of Werewolf by Night, you've got the mysticism of Morgan Le Fay, and then you've got this really intricate plan by Magnus and him manipulating Jerry. There's just a lot happening, and
it's a very busy issue. It's like they're like, you got to wrap this up now, even though he's the editor.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got to wrap this up now in one issue.
Yeah.
I don't remember if the next issue is him or not. What does my Marvel Unlimited app say? Hey guys, get Marvel Unlimited. It's your best friend.
7. Let me have a look. I've got a. It's a cover where she's bashing through the door. I've never remember what is in there. I've read it ages ago. It is Jerry Hunt again. It looks like there's a lot of Shield stuff.
Yeah, still Marv Wolfman though.
I mean, I think Mark Grunwald doesn't come in until maybe a couple more issues. Is it the Needle 9? I can't remember when it starts getting horror.
Yeah.
So no, not the next one. I think the next one's your favorite Waxman, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
then
hate
9.
Waxman.
Yeah. Yeah, issue 9.
I thought that was a later issue though. I thought that was like in the teens or the 20s, Waxman.
Oh, I could be wrong. It's maybe I'll get that mixed up. Yeah, sorry. It's a cover with Jess. She's tied to the back of someone jumping. Yeah, maybe I got that wrong. Maybe it's not Waxman. It's someone else.
No.
The Man Who Could Not Die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, issue 9 definitely is Mark Grunwald. So that he's a couple of issues away. But so a little bit muddled. I think it's fair to say maybe Marv Wolfman was glad to hand the reins over to Mark Grunwald after one more issue. Just like, okay, take it, see what you can do with it. And I'm really happy with how the horror element starts instilling itself. So we get like this really weird. Yeah, we get like the Shield and mysticism in Marv Wolfman's run, but then Grunwald really takes it somewhere else.
Yeah. So. But no, I like this issue. First of all, I love the art, other than a couple, like I said, inconsistencies with just this forehead triangle. But I love the art otherwise. It's really good. Carmine Infantino is just a very good artist, incredible artist.
Oh, yeah.
Colors, I have no qualms on the coloring. Coloring's great. But it seemed like this was a rush to end this arc, because I feel like there could have been like almost another issue. Of course, this could be a sign of the times too, because these issues, like comics from this time, all of them were a little all over the place, I felt, because I can't remember how many pages this was, but there were some times during when I read an older comic and not just Spider-Woman where I go, God, this is like taking forever as I'm reading it. And it's a fucking comic book. I don't know. Yeah. So
I totally know where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I love to read, but sometimes I am like, okay, I think this could have been, if it was me editing, I would have been like, you could have cut this whole scene.
Yeah. But as you say, like in this instance, I think Wolfman's just really trying to pack it all in.
Yeah.
And kind of wrap things up. He's got one more issue to go before he hands it over to Mark Grunwald. So, I mean, having said that, though, still, I do love the fact that we do see Morgan Le Fay, and I think she's a really cool character, a really cool villain. But less is to be said about the likes of like Hangman and of course Jerry Hunt and all that. So, I don't know. Out of this, Seren, what would you give this?
I would give it a 3.5 or a 4.
Okay. Yeah. I was edging more towards a 3 myself. I thought it's good. I enjoyed it. It was just a
little too much.
A little too much. A little things.
Like I think we could have like skipped Jack Russell's interpretation of events.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jack Russell, he was for me one. Yeah, me too. But like, he didn't really need to be in it. Like, seriously, it was Jerry Hunt, Magnus, and Morgan Le Fay, and they were the support cast for Jess. Right. That was enough. That was enough to tell your story. Yeah. I don't know why Werewolf by Night wanted. I mean, maybe because he was popular around that time. It might have been like here's a cameo. Right. But yeah, it was totally unnecessary. I'm glad he was in it though, because he's always fun. But yeah, just it was a little bit muddled. So
yeah, I mean, I don't mind him being in it. I just don't think we needed his point of view at the start.
Yeah, that's weird. And there's even something that's is said in there as well, because Marv Wolfman is aware of it. I think Jack Ross says, "Don't ask me how I know how everything happens," because he narrates stuff that he's actually not present in.
Oh, wait, go back to that page. I see you scrolling. Go back.
Yeah,
one more.
Which one?
I have to laugh. Nope, go back up one.
One up one.
Yep, right here. That panel with Jess, the big panel of Jess looking back behind her at the crowd. Yeah. That line that says, "Are you Miss Marvel? I heard about you." I got a chuckle out of that.
Yes.
I got a chuckle out of that, because I'm like, if only people knew at the time that in 40 years, Jess and Carol would be BFFs.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
But I loved it.
I think the Miss Marvel comic had just come out too, actually.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and she was a lot more, obviously she was a lot more prominent. And I like the fact that they mistake her for Miss Marvel. The fact that, Jess is, to me, is this like underdog and largely unknown. So yeah, I just like that about it.
And I just I got a chuckle out of that, because 40 years later they are BFFs and everyone loves the Carol and Jess friendship. So yeah,
exactly.
I think it's more than friendship, but that's just me. Carol ain't straight and neither is Jess, y'all. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add about this. I do have, because I was also a little bit scrolling Twitter just now, to change gears from the comic. Apparently, the Madam Web trailer is going to drop in the next few days. Oh. And the picture posted, I think it's Dakota Fanning playing Julia Carpenter.
Yeah.
But I'm really mad because the picture I've just seen has her in red and black. Anyway.
Oh.
If Julia Carpenter is given Jessica Drew colors, I'll be mad about it.
Well, she kind of has the red, right? She has a red, but...
Oh, yeah, she does have the red coat. But I don't know. I feel like the person they cast as Julia looks more like a Jess to me, and I just get mad about it.
Yeah.
All.
That's going to be interesting film. I'm going to watch it. I'm just not sure what's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go, Spider Babies, issue 6. Definitely worth a read. I mean, don't be deterred by...
Yeah, don't be deterred by our lowish score. There's a lot going on, but it's fun. I like it. It's a fun issue, but it's definitely a lot.
Yes. And there's certainly better appearances of Werewolf by Night later on. I think it's, issue 12 or 13 or something. He turns up in again. So, again, you get that Jess and Jack kind of dynamic. A lot better than this one. So,
yes.
Yeah. So, I think that wraps us, Seren.
I think it does. I guess until next time.
Yes. To know her is to fear her.
If you'd like to contact us with your thoughts on Spider-Woman and her amazing series, you can drop us a line at spiderwomanpod@gmail.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Spider-Woman Pod or To Know Her Is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast. Catch us on Twitter at Spider-Woman Daily or on Discord, Tumblr, and Podchaser. Look for all our links to our social platforms in the show notes.
We are also proud members of The Collective, a supergroup of podcasters dedicated to covering all the characters and news in comics and beyond. Search for #TheCollectiveNet on Twitter to see the latest on all the shows, or click on the link provided in our episodes to give you a list of who's part of The Collective. Finally, please consider giving us a rating on either Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Whether it be to sing your praises or give us pointers on how to improve the show, any ratings will help cast our web further and potentially reach out to more spider babies out there.
Thank you so much for listening to our show. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned for our next upcoming episode, but until then, remember, to know her is to fear her.
Spider-Woman and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Material used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only, under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.